Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the Kashtira Deck Profile. This is a deck that I've been wanting to build for a good year now. But of course, it was so expensive that I just was not planning on spending $70 on Kashtira Fenrir's or $30+ a piece on Kashtira Theosis or Pressured Planet. But thanks to the reprints, I was able to finally afford to actually build this deck without having to go out and buy old boxes in hopes to pull them. Without further ado, let's get started into the video. I run 3 Kashtira Fenrir's. This has the effect that during the main phase, you can add a Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. And also, when you go to battle an opponent's monster, or when an opponent's monster activates an effect, you can banish one card you can target one card in the field and banish it face down, which also means that you can declare an attack on a monster, banish that monster, and then also swing at another monster. Fenrir is everybody's favorite go second deck runner. I've seen this in every deck that I played against at Locals recently. I also run the 3 Kashtira Unicorns, which I believe is the actual starter of the deck, because this will get out your Theosis or your Kashtira Birth if you need to. Has the effect that you can add a Kashtira spell from your deck to your hand, and when this card declares an attack or an opponent activates a monster effect, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish one of their cards face down. A lot of people don't run it at 3, but I just feel like if you want a pure Kashtira deck build, you want to run 3 Kashtira Rise Arts, because this card can be special summon if you control a Kashtira monster. Unfortunately, it locks in XYZs for that turn, but you can also normal summon it and still use the effect that you can banish a Kashtira card from your deck. Then you banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck face down. He becomes a level 7. I run 1 Kashtira Ogre. It has the effect that you can add a Kashtira Trap from your deck to your hand. And when your opponent activates a card effect, I believe it's a monster, a monster effect, except during a damage step, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck and then banish 1 card and then place the other cards back in the same order. So it's also good to also anticipate what your opponent's about to do or what he's about to draw, and you can cut any of his BS out. I haven't seen this in a lot of builds, but I do like the effect of Telomer's Kashtira. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 Telomer's or Kashtira card from your hand or graveyard. You can mail the top 3 cards of either player's deck. I usually use it for myself so I can rip a card back out from the graveyard with Kashtira Birth. Unfortunately, when it dies, you have to send the top 3 cards of your own deck to the graveyard. That doesn't necessarily mean it hurts, though. You could also wind up sending cards you need to get out to the graveyard with Kashtira Birth. I run 1 Scareclaw Kashtira because he has the effect that he can be special summoned by banishing a Kashtira or Scareclaw card from your hand or graveyard. Of course, you're going to special summon him in defense because he can attack in defense, and his defense becomes your attack. Now for the hand traps, 3 Mandatory Shifters. It doesn't really hurt your Kashtira deck at all, unless you're playing a specific type of extra deck, which I am, but I usually try not to use Shifter if I plan to go into that. 2 Ghost Mortars and Moonlight Chill. Has the effect that if your opponent special summons a monster face up except during a damage step, you can discard this card, then target one of those face up monsters and negate the effects until the end of the turn. Also, that face up monster leaves the field this turn, the controller takes damage equal to the original attack. So it's a negate and possible burn. And of course, 3 Ash Blossoms. Because everybody needs hand traps, Ash Blossom is the best hand trap. I will say this in every video, every deck build that I do. It's the best hand trap. On to the spells. 3 Pressured Planet Race-Offs. This has the effect that when this card is activated, you can add a Kashtira card from your Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. And monsters you control gain an additional 100 attack and defense for different attributes on the field. And it's very easy to get up to like 500 to 600 attack because of how many different attributes you have in this deck. If a Kashtira Shangri-Las you control activates an effect except during a damage step, you can target 1 card in the field and destroy it. 3 Kashtira Theosis. This has the effect that you can target one Kashtira monster you control, special summon another one from your deck with a different attribute. For the rest of the turn, though, you're locked into XEs, but if this card gets banished, then you can add one of your Kashtira cards from your banish pile back to your hand. So it's a recycle if you don't have Birth. Which is why you want to run 3 Kashtira Bursts, because with this effect, you can normal summon a level 7 monster without tributing. And also, you can special summon a Kashtira monster from your banish or your graveyard pile. And then also, if your opponent activates a spell or effect while you control a Kashtira monster, you can target 3 cards in his graveyard and banish them face down. I run 2 Triple Tactics Thrust because everybody's running hand traps, effect monsters. It's not too hard to activate Thrust. Now, the only thing is, if your opponent doesn't control a monster, you have to set the card instead. Then, of course, 2 Triple Tactics Talents. Usually I use Thrust to search out talents to either swipe a card from your opponent or draw a card or 2. Draw 2 cards. And only 1 Pot of Prosperity because I come to realize Prosperity hits pretty hard with your extra deck. It's very hard to determine what you really want to get rid of. Plus, it also cuts the attack you do to your opponent's damage-wise. So it's really not a necessary card for the deck in my eyes. 1 Terraforming. Everybody knows what that does. Search out a field spell. 1 Called By. I believe with the modern-day meta, with all the hand traps, Called By deserves to be bumped up back to 2. It's definitely necessary. Onto the traps. 1 Kashtira Preparations. During either player's turn, you can special summon 1 Kashtira monster that is banished or in your hand. And if your opponent activates a trap or effect while you control a Kashtira monster, and this card's already face up on your spell and trap card zone, you can look at your opponent's hand and rip one and banish it face down. And of course, second best hand trap, 3 Imperms. Onto the extra deck, I've been working on different versions, but I feel like this is probably my best bet at being competitive. I run 2 Link Spiders. 2 Link Spiders is you can use for 1 normal monster. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand to the zone this card points to. You don't really have any normal monsters, but there's a reason for this, and if you know, you know. If not, I'll explain it here soon. 1 G Golem Crystal Heart, which is what I link my 2 Link Spiders off into, because G Golem Crystal Heart can special summon an Earth Cybers Link monster from your graveyard. 1 IP Masquerena. Of course, I've said this in every video, so I'm not going to really get into that one. If anything, that's probably a prosperity target. 1 Decode Talker Heat Soul, and this is the Link Spider G-Golem Rockheart material link into, because this card gains 500 attack for every monster this card points to, and quick effect, pay 1,000 life points, you can draw a card. And if your life points are 2,000 or less, you can banish this card from your field, special summon a level 3 or lower, I think it's a Link Cybers monster. Yep. So that's what you want to do to get out IP Masquerena if you didn't banish it already, with hopes that maybe you can get into your bigger monsters that's bigger than the Access Code Talker. Oh, I mean, bigger than the Decode Talker Heat Soul, sorry. 1 Blacklisted Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. I feel like he's mandatory in the deck because if you use a level 7 or higher monster as material, then he cannot be destroyed or targeted by card effects. And when this card battles, you can apply the following effects. This card gains 1,500 attack. This card can make a second attack during the battle phase of your next turn, or you can banish 1 card on the field. Those effects only apply after the attack. And then the big one, 1 Access Code Talker. He didn't come up because I got outplayed a lot, but it's still a good card to have in this deck build. Your opponent cannot activate cards in response to this card effect's activations. You can target 1 Link monster in your graveyard. This card gains 1,000 attack for every Link arrow the card has. And then the non-once per turn is that you can banish a link monster from your graveyard to destroy a card on the field. So if you have multitudes of different things, then you can easily get out a lot of cards on your opponent's side of the field. That's it for the links. Now onto the XYZs. I run 2 Shangri-Las now. I was only running 1, but getting him board wiped doesn't really do me any good favors, because then once he's gone from the field, the opponent's locked monster zones or spell and trap zones are now unlocked. During either standby phase, you can special summon a Kashtira monster from your deck, and if you successfully banish a card face down, then you can lock a card zone. So if you have 2 in the field, that's 2 in a row. And if this card gets destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can detach material instead. So you can also protect himself. 1 number 11 Big Eye. You can detach material from this card, and then target 1 monster your opponent controls and take control of it, but this card cannot attack the turn the effect is activated. And then the card to get out the Link Spider is Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Stack. Once per turn, you can detach material, special summon 2 tokens. And these are the tokens that you want to use to get out your Link Spiders. Also, you can detach material from this card. You can tribute 1 Mecha Phantom Beast monster and target 1 card on the field and destroy the target. This card cannot attack during the turn you activate that effect. So basically, since he can't attack with it, you just use him as a tribute to destroy a card in the field. Once you get the first effect and it's resolved, Draco Stack is basically just a monster that you can use. Now, I haven't gotten a chance to use this one yet. I just got this recently. It's a Harmonizer Gradale. This card's attribute is also treated as each of the attached materials attributes. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster of the same attribute, and cannot be destroyed by the activated effects of your opponent's monsters with the same attribute. Quick effect, you can target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard, detach 1 material from this card. If you do, attach that card to this as material. So you can protect it just by stealing one of your opponent's monsters, which is good if you are running against a person who has like an all dark and all light, all earth. You can basically protect that monster, and he's 2,700 attack, so it's pretty high. 1 Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation. Once per turn, if you have exactly 5 dark monsters in your graveyard, you can also XYZ summon Dark Arm, Dragon of Annihilation with a level 5 or higher Dark Dragon monster you control as material. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it, and then banish 1 card from your graveyard, but it cannot attack this turn. 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, because it has the effect that it cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has material, and while this card has material, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, inflict 500 damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves. Of course, once per turn, quick effect, you can detach material, search for a Red Eyes Black Dragon, which, well, I'm not running Red Eyes in this deck. I could with Kashtira Birth, because it doesn't say you can... Actually, I think it does say that. Nope, you can normal summon a level 7 monster without tributing. So that could be Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon if you wanted to. And then the last card is Typhon, because it has the effect that during a turn or the turn after your opponent special summons 2 or more monsters from the extra deck, you can attach this card to any card on the field, and then monsters with 3,000 attack or more can activate their effects. Also, you can detach material from this card, and then non-target return 1 monster from the field to the hand. That's it for the deck build. Let's go ahead and get on to like a test hand and see how this deck works. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Alright. Well, starting off with Called By, that's also good, because then you definitely don't want to get ashed with this. Activate Pressure Planet Race Off. What I usually do for that is I will grab Unicorn. As I said, Unicorn is definitely a starter, and most people usually don't try to hit Ash or Infirm on Unicorn because it's not Fenrir. People are more afraid of Fenrir's effect than Unicorn's effect. Special Unicorn. Activate Unicorn's effect to search for Kashtira Theosis. Activate Theosis. Target Unicorn, special summon Fenrir. Fenrir's effect. Search out your Kashtira Rise Heart. Now we're going to activate the Kashtira Birth. Set that just in case. We're going to take Fenrir and Unicorn, and we're going to X these into your Shangri-La. Normal summon your Kashtira Rise Heart. Use the effect to send a Kashtira card from your from your deck to banish, and we'll get rid of Ogre. Once that happens, your opponent must send the top 3 cards of his deck to the banish pile face down, which before his effect resolves, Shang will zone lock. Now he becomes a level 7. You have a target to bring back with Birth. So what I will do for this is I will special summon 2 of his Kashtira by banishing Theosis. Theosis will give me back my Ogre. We'll take Rise Heart and 2 of his Kashtira, and we're going to go into Draco Sack. Let's put that right there. We'll detach. Get out your 2 tokens. And then take your 2 tokens, link off to your Link Spiders. Take your 2 Link Spiders into Jiggle and Crystal Heart. He brings back Link Spider. And then you'll take these 2 and get into your Deco Talker Heat Soul. Use Deco Talker's Heat Soul to quick effect. Pay 1,000 life points, draw a card. Alright, good. That's a good card to draw into. And yeah, that's not bad for a first hand. Let's say it goes to your opponent's turn. During a standby phase, use Shang to bring out a Kashtira monster. We'll bring out Fenrir, of course, because he's the most terrifying monster to deal with. We'll put it over here in that area, so that with Deco Talker Heat Soul gains the additional 500 attack. Making his attack right now 33. Plus, with all the different attributes on the field, which is an additional 3 different attributes, he becomes 3,600. Moonlit Chill, because I'm sure the opponent's going to special summon more than 1 monster. Called by for protection. And now you have Fenrir, Birth, and Shang on the field. So if you activate the spell card, Birth will activate, Shang will lock, Fenrir will banish, activate Shang. Of course, Pressure Planet Race Off over here will still activate at least once per turn, as long as it's not during the damage step. And well, that's pretty much it for my theory on test building. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this build. Would you run it this way? Would you change anything? And until then, see you guys in the next video.